Lesson 10-4, Subtracting Unlike Denominators. Through this lesson, it's going to also review adding with unlike denominators.
Zoe loves baking, so she's making brownies and cupcakes for the Green Earth Club meeting tomorrow. She needs to make sure she has enough milk for both recipes. The brownies call for 1/4 of a cup of milk, and the cupcakes call for 2/3 of a cup. How much milk does Zoe need for both recipes? First up, find a common denominator by multiplying the denominators. 4 times 3 is 12, so the common denominator is 12. Next, create equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerators by the multiples you use to get the common denominator. For the first fraction, we multiplied 4 by 3 to get 12 in the denominator. Now we multiply the 1 by 3 to get the numerator. You know you have to do the same thing to the top that you do to the bottom. For the second fraction, we multiplied 3 by 4. That means we have to multiply 2 by 4 as well. Now, line up the fractions horizontally. The fractions are 3/12 and 8/12. Are you staying connected? Now that we have common denominators, we can add the numerators. 3 plus 8 is 11. Lastly, put the common denominator under the numerator. Remember, don't add the denominators. 11 over 12 makes 11/12. Zoe needs 11/12 of a cup of milk for her brownies and cupcakes. Man, I'm glad I'm going to that meeting just to get a hold of those brownies. You can also use the least common multiple as a way to find the least common denominator. This works well with bigger numbers. Let's give it a test drive. Zoe also had 5/12 of a cup of flour and used 3/8 of a cup for her recipes. How much flour was left over after she was done baking? First up, find a common denominator by finding the least common multiple, or LCM. Write down some multiples for 12. Now write down some multiples for 8. We quickly see that 24 is the least common multiple. We can use that as our common denominator. Now create equivalent fractions using the LCM as your denominator. Our equivalent fractions are 10/24 and 9/24. Now, line up the problem horizontally. Find the difference between the numerators. Then write the common denominator below the difference. 10 minus 9 is 1. That gives us 1 over 24. Using the least common multiple method, we found that Zoe has 1/24 cup of flour left over. Good thing she isn't as clumsy as me. I'd have knocked over that cup a while ago. Find the sum of these fractions.
I would like you to write this down in your notebook under Notes. It is 10-4 at the top. Try to add 2 sevens plus 6/15. This should be a review from last time. Notice that we have A, B, C, and D. It helps you out because is 22 the common denominator? Is 2 the common denominator? Is 105 or 105? That one's a hard one with 15 and 7. See if you can figure it out on your own, and then see if you were correct. If you got 72 over 105,
awesome! 72 over 105 is the correct answer.
That was a really hard one. Let's try number 2.
Find the difference between these two fractions.
That one should be a little bit easier to find the common denominator between 6 and 10. Then remember that you are subtracting the numerators. See if you can find the answer. In your notebooks, write it down. We need to see your work with your equivalent fractions and then your subtraction. If you picked B,
sweet! 1/30th is the correct answer.
hope you have a great night. Those are your 2 notes, the 2 examples under Try It. See you tomorrow.